A flat tyre was identified on a B-double semi-trailer at the Clovass Quarry workshop on the 8th of February 2024. A truck driver and mechanic removed the tyre and wheel assembly to assess if it could be repaired or needed to be replaced. The truck driver took the tyre to a tyre-fitting machine located near the workshop. He visually inspected the outside of the tyre for signs of damage but did not find any. The mechanic was asked to assist with another task and left the area. A second truck driver offered to assist. The two truck drivers loaded the tyre and wheel assembly onto a tyre-fitting machine. The tyre was then connected to the workshop's compressed air system via an airline hose. This caused air to flow into the tyre. The tyre bead was then seated onto the wheel rim using a handheld compressed air tank, which caused the tyre to inflate. As the tyre inflated, one of the truck drivers returned the air tank to its storage location. The other truck driver began rotating the wheel using the tyre-fitting machine's controls, while spraying the tyre tread with a soapy solution. This process was used to identify air leaks through bubbling of the solution. The truck driver was in front of the rotating tyre while spraying the solution and was not wearing hearing protection. Around this time, a third truck driver attended the area and assisted in looking for air leaks. The truck driver was positioned near the front right-hand side of the tyre and was not wearing hearing or eye protection. The compressed airline system continued to inflate the tyre until there was a loud bang. The two truck drivers near the front of the tyre were hit with pressure of an air blast and debris caused by the tyre catastrophically failing. First responders immediately assisted the injured workers until emergency services were contacted and paramedics arrived. The workers were treated on site and then taken to hospital. One worker suffered perforated eardrums, hearing loss, soft tissue injuries to the face and upper body. The other worker suffered injuries to both eyes caused by tyre rubber and steel foreign body fragments and ongoing tinnitus. The resources regulator investigated the incident and found that the tyre failure occurred when the sidewall failed and violently tore open during inflation. This type of tyre failure is referred to as a zipper failure, which is often caused by the tyre being run while overloaded, underinflated or flat. The investigation found several factors contributed to the incident and quarry workers being exposed to the risk of serious injury or death. There were no procedures for inspecting, detecting air leaks, puncture repairing and inflating tyres, and risk assessments were not undertaken to identify hazards and appropriate controls when undertaking these tasks. The workshop's compressed airline system was not fitted with a device that enabled workers to monitor tyre air pressures and manually control inflation from a safe distance. During inflation, tyres were not restrained in a cage or similar device to protect workers from projectiles, debris, and air blasts generated by a potential tyre failure. Exclusion zones were not implemented by workers when inflating tyres. When inspecting tyres for air leaks, there were no formal requirement for tyres to only be inflated to a designated lowest practicable air pressure. Workers were not provided with instruction and training in how to inspect the external and internal parts of tyres for structural damage. PPE procedures requiring workers to wear hearing and eye protection while inflating tyres were not adhered to. The regulator has made several recommendations, including quarry and mine operators must undertake a risk assessment to identify the hazards and controls for managing the health and safety risks associated with the inspection, repair, and inflation of truck tyres. Implement a safe system for inflating truck tyres, which incorporates where reasonably practicable higher-order controls such as compressed airline systems that allow monitoring and control of tyre air pressures and inflation levels from a safe location. Tyre cage or similar devices that restrain tyres and provide protection from projectiles, debris and air blasts generated in the event of a tyre failure. Ensure exclusion zones are implemented to keep workers clear of the potential line of fire during tyre inflation. Ensure tyres are only inflated to a designated low as practicable air pressure when trying to identify punctures and air leaks. Ensure flat and underinflated tyres are fully deflated, removed from the wheel, and inspected internally and externally for damage before being repaired and reused. Provide workers with training and instruction in how to inspect the external and internal parts of tyres to identify structural damage. Provide workers with instruction, training and supervision to ensure compliance with hazard identification, risk assessment and PPE procedures. Workers must maintain awareness of the work environment when inflating tyres and never allow themselves or others to be positioned in the line of fire of a potential tyre failure. To read all the findings and recommendations identified in the investigation report, visit the NSW Resources website.